Hey, what's up, y'all? Here it is, another video on the F100. The next project for this truck, I guess, is going to be installing the driver's seat and the passenger seat. I already went ahead and installed the passenger seat. This is this bracket right here. It's one bracket, but I actually chopped it up to like 3 pieces because I had to slowly but surely and precisely measure the pieces and then weld them, cut and weld, cut and weld. I had to do that a couple times so that the seat will be level. And some of the brackets were bent. Those are the original brackets to it, and some of them that had to bend. I think these seats came out of I believe it's a 2010, no, 2014 Ford Escape. And yeah, I'm trying to stay forward with this since all I have in my driveway are Fords. But not really a hater of any other car manufacturer, just I like Ford. But so these seats, the driver's side is going to be a little bit different. Let me show you. So with the passenger seat, you can see the brackets, the kind of the back and the front. Well, it's not the same thing as the driver's seat. So I took apart the driver's seat, the cushion, the seat cushion and the backrest cushion, and I went all the way down to the frame, because one thing I did notice is this seat does sit a lot higher than the passenger, and I don't want that. So what I'm having to do is I'm having to fabricate the crap out of this this frame here, and you see these marks. That's where I'm cutting, and I guess I'm gonna have to make some type of brackets or reuse these right here, and use some of this, maybe cut some of this out. Oh, the whole bar, sorry, let me see. So I cut this bracket already. It was only cut right here on the end. You can see this shiny piece, and on the end right here you can see that shiny piece, and the middle's empty. But I cut this off of the one of the sides, and I will be cutting these ends off and reinforcing them so that won't be too floppy or whatever. But I will make sure that this seat is properly installed, not just, you know, do a crappy job at it. I want to make sure, you know, whoever's riding with me, and I want to make sure that myself, I am safe on the road should anything happen, God forbid. So as y'all can see, this seat is, unfortunately, I mean, it's a power seat. Since it is a power seat, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna do the electrical just to be able to operate this seat. Not that I really want anybody else to drive it, but eventually, when I'm done with the truck, I wouldn't mind if either one of my two sons drive it. I mean, they're still young right now, and I mean, I guess that's putting kind of a lot of trust in them with all this work that I'm doing. But yeah, so I mean, just so I could have the seats 100% operable, I'm just gonna go ahead and figure out all of the wiring and stuff like that for the, you know, so the seat could work right, instead of just have it in one specific location and not be able to move. Who knows, maybe my wife might want to drive one day, but I don't think that's happening. But anyway, here we go. All right, here goes I guess the top part of the bracket that I cut off. Right here, it goes all the way across. Same thing on the other side. Like I was mentioning, the driver's seat sits a lot higher than a passenger seat, and I want to make them as level as I possibly can. But I don't think that's going to be possible, but we're going to try to get there. If I have to, these areas, right here, I might cut some, maybe like an inch or an inch and a half off all the way and just re-weld the whole thing. But I do need to lower it as much as possible, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut off these end pieces and weld them back on all four sides and see what it looks like from there. All right, with man, with these things, you kind of got to be an electrician, I guess, an automotive electrician, whatever. But you have to try to figure things out when it comes to electrical. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set this seat, since it's, you know, operated by motors instead of manual adjustment. I had to rig up a little the watt battery to the wiring, and let me show y'all. So now I'm able to operate it and see the lowest setting that I could possibly get it, and that's what I wanted. And I wanted to set the seat right in the middle, so it has a lot of room for adjustment, or enough room for adjustment, and that's where we're going from here. All right, y'all, here it is. A couple days later, man, I finally got it. There's both of the seats that are in the truck. They're fully mounted except for one bolt on the driver's side. One looks a little bit higher than the other because one is leaning back a little bit more. Plus, I mean, I could adjust if I need to adjust anything with the height or the lean of the seats or anything like that. I could just adjust it with washers. I'm fine with that, because I've had to hack up this damn seat so many times as far as the bracket goes. Let's see if I could show y'all what I'm talking about. So if y'all see this bracket had to be cut down, because see how the seats sit about level now? So before, this seat was sitting like a lot higher, so I had to cut down these brackets that I made, and I had to cut down this original bracket from the seat and actually weld it back on. That took like about an inch off of height, and that took about a half an inch off of these to adjust the height. But there they are, sitting in there. All right, there y'all go. Seats fully bolted in. Unfortunately, we are gonna have to take these seats back out because the cab still needs some prep work for the paint, which is body work. I still need to finish up on a patch panel where rust was at that I cut out. I put rust reformer on, and just, you know, a couple other things that the cab needs, some more sanding on the inside. And so one thing that I did learn about installing these seats is I should have mocked up both seats first to find out which one's higher and work on that one. And then I should have started with the driver's side seat first. The reason why I say that is because where the steering column is, of course you want the steering column right in the middle of the seat. I mean, that's where it's supposed to be. And then you measure out how far the middle of that seat is from the middle of the cab and from the door itself, and make sure it's a good position. What I was supposed to make sure those measurements I was supposed to use on the passenger side, but I didn't use them, just wasn't thinking. Yeah, one stupid mistake, but luckily for me, I'm like maybe half an inch, a little bit less than half an inch off on the passenger side. But like I said, plenty of times before in these older videos that I've done, this is not a SEMA truck. It's gonna be my daily driver, so it's gonna have its nicks bangs, it's little mistakes on it, and it's not gonna be perfect. It's gonna be my daily driver, and I have a 80-mile round trip every single day to work. So it's gonna have some wear and tear on it, but I do want this truck looking pretty good. So the next project that I have for this truck that I kind of already started on is the mounting brackets for this truck. I'm probably gonna have to make my own brackets because I cannot find the right brackets that I need. And the brackets that I did find, excuse me, they're over 200 bucks, and they're not really hard to make. So on to the next project.